Tonight on Smackdown, a new champ was crowned, a Hall of Fame inductee announced, and we get the motive behind the attack on Jade Cargill. So I finally stopped playing WWE 2K25 long enough to actually watch Smackdown this evening. And I have to know, has anybody had a harder week than referee Charles Robinson? This past Saturday at Elimination Chamber, he was KO'd by KO. And tonight on Smackdown, he got misted by Shinsuke Nakamura in the match between LA Knight and Shinsuke for the US title. Now, this meant that Robinson was actually unable to count the pinfall when LA Knight beat Shinsuke Nakamura for the US title. The two had basically a nothing match in the main event of SmackDown. This honestly felt like it could have been somewhere in the middle of the show, not the end of the show. But because the closing segment with the fireworks and holding up the title, it did feel like a main event ending. Just the match itself was pretty lackluster. Now, what should have main evented was the promo by Cody Rhodes. Cody came out at the 10 o'clock hour and cut what I feel is a perfect promo. As he walked to the ring with a big shiner on his face, bruising, redness all over his eye socket, he pulled out an earplug during his pyro, which goes back to reports that Travis Scott legitimately busted an eardrum and possibly cracked a facial bone. Cody did a promo about how Philadelphia has always been good to him, especially last year at the main event of WrestleMania, where at that same moment when he won the WWE Championship, John Cena, who helped him win the WWE Championship, told him that that belt just gets heavier and heavier. Well, Cody says he has no trouble lifting that title above his head still to this day, and clearly John wants some, so John should come get some. Fantastic promo. Usually I don't want a promo to end the night, but that was a main event promo. Now, over the past couple years, Cody has been excellent in promo work. Now, that's probably not something you would attribute to his mentor, Randy Orton, but Randy did open the show today with a fiery promo directed to KO, and we got to see a little bit of that 2009 Randy come out, that insane Randy that you don't know when he's going to snap, you don't know what he's going to do next. And he did say to Kevin, Pat McAfee is the second best punter in WWE. Next up, Tiffany Stratton and Piper Niven squared off in a pretty good back-and-forth match. You know, it told the story of Tiffany using her athleticism to get the better hand of Piper, Piper using her sheer size and strength against Tiffany. But all in all, the WWE Women's Champion got the victory. Then after the match, Charlotte actually attacked Tiffany from behind, chop blocking her, put her in the figure 8 leg lock to weaken up that knee to give us a storyline going into WrestleMania. And it basically cemented Charlotte as a full-blown heel at this point, which we kind of knew, but this is the most heelish thing she's done. Actually, this is probably the only thing she's done since the Royal Rumble. To celebrate being in Philadelphia, General Manager Nick Aldis decided to do his best Charlie Day impression by showing us a map of the tag team division's crazy turmoil over the past few weeks. Aldis announced that the Street Profits will take on DIY for the titles next week, and there's a triple threat match for the #1 contendership coming up next. That match involved the Motor City Machine Guns, Los Garzas, and Pretty Deadly. Pretty standard match for the division. Pretty Deadly did get the victory after a roll-up. Now it's time to get the tissues, because we are about to get emotional. Bianca came out to the ring saying that it's hard to focus on her big title match at WrestleMania when she has two friends that have hatred for each other, and she doesn't know why. So she knew Naomi was in the building, so she called out Naomi. Naomi came out wearing a neck brace, and after pressure from Bianca, Naomi finally confessed to attacking Jade Cargill. Her motive? She just didn't like that Jade was riding Bianca's coattails. So she basically did it for Bianca. Now, hearing this, Bianca was in disbelief. She couldn't fathom why Naomi would do such a heartless thing. And to their credit, both performers were able to get real tears out, make it a little bit more believable, because up until I saw the tear, it was getting a little hysterical and a little unbelievable. But hey, we got some tears out. Got me into it a little bit more. And then Bianca said, I can't deal with this anymore. And so she walked down on Naomi, leaving Naomi in the ring, crying, screaming at Bianca, asking her why she's giving up on her. She did it for her. Why would you leave? And then she called Bianca a bitch. That woke the crowd up. As Bianca turns around to look at Naomi in disbelief that her best friend would call her something like that and do these actions. SUV pulls up in the background. Here comes Jade in a white outfit decorated with blood spatters. Symbolism, probably. She makes a beeline to the ring, and as she's passing Bianca, Bianca says, go right on ahead. Go on in there. Get her. Jade then beats Naomi's ass once again and stands tall. So we'll see if this goes to a WrestleMania match or if this just gets blown up in weeks to come. Next, we had a video package showing Cody Rhodes visiting Diamond Dallas Page and Lex Luger before the events of Elimination Chamber. Cody wanted to announce to Luger that he is now the newest inductee to this year's Hall of Fame class. Now, of course, Luger is going through some rehabilitation with DDP, and he's still somewhat reliant on a wheelchair, but he did get up to hug Cody, which was a good moment. Luger, of course, wrestled mainly in the late 80s to late 90s, where he was able to be a 2-time WCW champion, a 3-time WCW Tag Team champion, and a 5-time WCW United States champion. Now, catching up with Charlotte after her beatdown of Tiffany earlier in the night, Charlotte says since she's been gone, this women's division has gotten soft. And who came up to confront her but none other than B-Fab. Charlotte mocks this confrontation and says, "You know what, B-Fab, I'll see you in the ring next week." Now, if you're a fan of big meaty men slapping meat, then you'll love this next segment. We had Braun Strowman taking on Solo, after Solo has been a pain in the ass for Strowman the past couple of weeks. The two had a pretty standard match, hitting their big spots, and then it all ended when Braun Strowman hit a power slam on Solo. Tama Tonga ran in to disrupt the 3 count, disqualification. Braun wins, but Braun beats Tama's ass. He beats Solo's ass. And then Jacob Fatu comes out to a huge response from the crowd. They were chanting Fatu like crazy. They love this guy. We all love this guy. Fatu's the best. These two get into it back and forth. It ultimately ended when Fatu was chokeslammed through 2 tables out in the audience. Next, we have the Women's United States Championship on the line as Chelsea Green, dressed up as Cactus Jack, took on Michin in a street fight. Now, whenever these two face off, especially in a match with weapons involved, these two do a phenomenal job. They're very entertaining. This match was a fantastic, I don't want to say comedy match, but it was a mid-card match with a lot of entertainment involved. Now, Chelsea had her secret Hervis, Piper Niven, out ringside, who started helping her get a little bit of advantage in the match. Well, then Michin's friend B-Fab came out and chased Piper Niven away. Now with just Green and Michin still left in the ring, Michin hits her finisher, but the 3 count is interrupted by a person dressed in a black hood, black pants. We've seen this story before. It must be Bloodline related. But no, it's not a member of the Bloodline. It is actually Alba Fire, who is now the newest member of Chelsea Green's secret Hervis. Chelsea retains, still your U.S. champion. Next, we went backstage where we saw Santos Escobar scolding Los Garzas for blowing their chance at the #1 contendership. After Santos leaves, Andrade comes in and tells Berto he deserves better. Now, at the top of the show, we saw the wrestlers walking in as we normally do. One of those was Drew McIntyre. As Drew was walking, he did see a wild Damian Priest in front of him, and he decided to attack Damian from behind as payback for what happened at Elimination Chamber when Damian eliminated Drew. Now, Drew did have a match against Jimmy Uso later in the night. This is a rematch from when Jimmy beat Drew a couple weeks ago. Drew was able to get the win this time via a Claymore, but as he was leaving the ring, he decided he wanted to do a little bit more punishment on Jimmy. So as he went back to the ring, Damian jumped Drew from behind, beating him down until he was taken away by security. Well, that's it for this week's Smackdown Rundown. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about the U.S. title change, Lex Luger going into the Hall of Fame, and the dramatic confrontation between Naomi, Bianca, and Jade Cargill. As always, if you could, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. And be sure to check out this video right here, where I run through all the new moves in this year's WWE 2K game.